What's up, everybody? How's it going? I hope well. Whoa! Oh, what is that screen? Nobody needs to see that ugliness. I'll just minimize that for now. Whoa! How you doing? How you doing? A little, different of a stream we're doing today. This is my actual background, by the way. I don't have the green screen up. If you've been part of past streams, a little while ago now, I guess, you might have seen this background. Or if you watched some of the older videos on the main channel, you might have seen this background, or VODs. So, either way, I didn't feel like setting up the green screen today because we're doing something a little bit different. It doesn't really work either with the setup that I have for what we're doing today. So yeah, you know, just going without it for today. But yeah, it's not exactly the most prime background, by the way. I live in my parents' house. Big shock. So, you know, you get cuckoo. The cuckoo clock. And yeah. I'll show you too. Hold on, I don't have this set up right now. Let me see if I can. I'll set this up for you guys real quick. See if I can do this. Ooh. Just something random here. See if I can do this. Yeah, I don't really have it set up properly for this. Let me just do this here. This will work easier. This will work easier. I can just do it this way. I'm testing my speed of how quick I can do this. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. This is the full room. This is the full room. Couple things. I don't have the top header. I broke it, but real quick, I'll go back real quick. This is the room. You see this kind of thing? This is ridiculous. The room I'm in is ridiculous. I don't think about it much because I'm in this room on a daily basis. But it's kind of ridiculous. Right? Like, for one, that's Garfield, and there's another, and there's more here that you can't even see. There's a Garfield, there's a Garfield phone. Garfield phone. It does that. This is not my choice of decor. I just live here. Here's the thing. I used to be in a different room. I think I've said this on past streams. But, you know, different room. Before pandemic, I was graduating. Literally, like, the start of the pandemic, I was graduating from, like, from college. And I was supposed to do a work placement. I was going to, like, Toronto. And that all got canceled. Because pandemic. You know, legitimate reason. But, like, I had, like, a whole thing lined up. I was going to Toronto for, like, a month. And then, like, I knew the people there pretty well. And, you know, I was going to do my best work. And they were like, hey, we'll hire you if you do good work. So I was pretty confident I could do well and maybe get hired there. And I was like, oh, this is going to be the best. And then pandemic hit, and my, like, everything was canceled. So then I was just moved into basement. Right into the basement. And now I feel like Harry Potter living in, like, the cupboard under the stairs. This room's tiny. And, like, you know. I'm not purposely ignoring you guys, by the way. A clean set, you know. Stream-wise, yeah. But, like, what are these walls? What, like this? This is the only thing, outside of my desk here, this is the only thing of mine that's in here. I have Amiibo. Pretty much. Jesus Christ. The alert's gone. I gotta go back to this setup. Thank you for the Prime sub, by the way. I appreciate that. Damn. Anyway. I'm doing something. Maybe you'll appreciate this, Steve. Maybe you'll appreciate this. I'm doing kind of editing on the stream. I'm doing stuff for this channel, though, so nothing of yours, but that can stay behind the scenes. Tetris. Oh God. Oh no. All the subs, Jesus. My God. I'm not expecting this. Oh Jesus, coin flip. How do you have points for coin flip already? Jesus Christ. Alright. God damn it. God damn it. I gotta get the coin. I hope it's here. It is here. I have a coin. I have a coin. So if you don't know, hopefully you read it and didn't just click it. Hopefully you didn't just... You're drunk. Oh, this is great then. This venture... There's a hype train going now. What is happening? This is too much. Oh my god. Alright. You just clicked it. You're supposed to read the channel points first before you click it. That's how that works. I'm just kidding. It's fine. Alright, coin flip. I'm gonna read what it says, because you didn't read it. I'll flip a coin. If heads... This coin doesn't have clear heads or tails, but I know what it is. I'll be honest. I'll choose the one that it lands on. If it's heads... If it's heads, I'll tell a cool story about myself. If it lands on tails, I'll tell one that is embarrassing. And I don't know what those stories are. I haven't really planned that out. Do I eat a bat? No. I'm not going that far with this. That's not happening. I don't know what the story's gonna be. I'm gonna have to figure it out as I go. I'm gonna flip the coin. What do we got? Oh, we got heads. I can tell an awesome story. That's cool. Thank God, because I don't know what the embarrassing one was gonna play. You can pay to turn off the stream. If you want to pay to turn off the stream, go for it. I don't think any of you have that. You can turn off the stream, and that won't come back either. It's not coming back. Like, you know, I'll come back maybe the next day, but it's not like right after. So if you want me to stop streaming, you have the power. But anyway, I have this story. I have to tell it now. You redeemed the points. I think I got one. I think I got one. Oh, Jesus Christ. I dropped stuff. I had a guitar pick on my desk. It just reached terminal velocity there. Anyway. Awesome story. Ooh. Okay, I got one. I don't know if it's great, but, you know, and I don't know how I'm going to word it. Okay, so, here's the thing. Oh, I have two. I have two that I could do. Flip the coin for that? No, it's fine. I'll figure it out. Okay, I got it. So... Oh, cuckoo is the clock. Yeah, cuckoo clock. It's great. It doesn't work. It's off. But it still ticks in the background. It's weird. It doesn't actually move, but you hear like a faint tick. It's kind of ominous. Probably haunted. So, I got a story. Holy Jesus. I don't even have a bits thing yet. It's fine. It's fine. What did you say? I can't even see that. Jesus. Okay, I'll get to the story, because I'll just keep procrastinating from it. So, I was part of... So, okay, if you don't know, I went to college for film, and my reasoning for doing that is I was taking a film program in high school. Loyalist, yeah, that one. You know it well, Steve. You know it well. But the reason I did that was I mean, I had a passion for filmmaking through high school, but one thing that was kind of awesome is, like, right before I was supposed to be deciding, like, where I was specifically supposed to be going for college, I did, like, this teacher of mine was like, hey, you and your, like, I had some friends that we always, like, made some films and stuff for this, like, high school class, and he was always like, he liked us, because we actually liked making the films. There was, like, people that were like, make a film as a project, and then they would just be like, I filmed it in a day, and it's me making a sandwich. We were like, no, we wrote a script, we planned out the shots, we made it through the year. It took time. So we actually gave, like, products that were, you know, worth something. And so, he was like, hey, there's this, event that's like a 48-hour film festival thing. And I went with my friends, we did it, and it was pretty cool. It was the most stressful thing I've ever done, by the way. Because it was like, the actual professional level of it was like pretty high. They were like, oh, let's get all these people together and you should, like, do it. I was like, oh, that's cool. So we, like, we drove, it wasn't even, like, here in this city, we had to go over, like, to another town, and it was, like, it was, like, an hour drive, so we already had to waste our first, like, hour just driving back from there. And so we were like wasting some of our time. And oh my god, something was deleted. Oh, probably a clip. Yeah, my bot deletes the links. Apologies. So, driving back, we're trying to come up with ideas, and we're like, we gotta do a script. We worked so hard on making sure it was as good as possible. Like, the last minute was spent on editing before, like, one of my friends had to go. I couldn't go, I was busy afterwards, but he had to go back and, like, hand it in, and it was literally, like, the last minute. The last possible minute that could have been handed off for it. And thank God, we apparently ended up winning it. I wasn't able to go, I was working the day that it premiered, but, like, apparently we won it. I didn't get any of the prizes out of it, though. I did not get the prizes out of it. That's the sucky part. That's the terrible part. It was like I think the prize was a 4K camera. 4K, it was still not a super expensive 4K camera. But it was like fairly decent at the time because it was like, what, 2017? So not too bad. And then there's also like a nice film tripod. I didn't get any of those. My friends took them because they went. I never saw those afterwards. But I imagine one of them has them. So there's that. But it was cool though. That gave me like the boost and the satisfaction to be like, hey, because I mean I don't want to say I did everything because I'm not like a huge writer person. So when it comes to like scripts and stuff, not really my thing. Not really my thing. So like that was mostly my friends there, but when it came to like actually doing like the directing and the shots and stuff and the editing too, I did all the editing. Big surprise, I know. So all of that, and it was like this was the best one. It was a nice little ego boost maybe. It helped, and it made me go like, okay, good. And now I'm going to college for film. That's a nice like immediate thing to make me go like, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay there. I think it'll be good. So anyway, I'm putting the coin away now. Yeah, I'm not... Here's the thing, like, I had a class for screenwriting, and, like... I'm not great at it. I'm not great at it. It's fine, though, because, like... That screenwriting class was, like, one of our, like... And this is college stuff. Like, our scripts... In our first year, it's a 3-year program. The first year, like, we wrote scripts and learned how to write them, and then that stuff went through the years, and then in third year you made like the best one out of those. Yeah, the one we made was way better than what I had. If we made mine, it would have been a disaster. It would have been terrible. Oh man. Anyway. Okay. I'm still not sure exactly what we're doing today, but I have a bit of an idea. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to the screen temporarily because I want you guys... This screen here. You see the background? It's here too. It's over there. The chat went away. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, point is, that's a background. And it's okay. But when I first started using it, I was like, I'm going to use it because it took some time to make. And now I'm like, yeah, it took some time to make. But it's... yeah, I can do better. I know I can do better. I can... think to myself and know from past things I've done that I can do better than that. And I always want to set myself to do the best that I can do. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to... First off, I need your opinions. I need your opinions on stuff. Because I'm gonna... Oh, geez, why this fucking... No, hold on. Oh, that's not good either. Fuck, that's... Why is all these shitty songs? Okay, that's fine. Was not a good song for right then. So anyway, need your opinion. I'm going to actually put this over here. Let's go to the... Oops, I covered the button. Primary. Okay. So, I have Photoshop open here. I don't have Oof, I can't do that right now. Okay, so hold on. Let me open this here. I want to open the stream. Well, you saw it. I already showed you. Never mind. I already showed you guys. I was like, I gotta show you the screen. I already did that. So, right, here's the thing. Let me open this here. I want to change it. I want to know. I have a few ideas, but I don't know which one to go for. And I don't want to start making something and go like, that sucks. That was a bad idea. Here's my logo thing, if it's going to open in that. Why is it not? Oh. Oops, I know what I did. My bad. I'm being stupid right now. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Okay, here you go. Logo. It's great. It looks a little weird because it's on white, but it's fine. So, my logo is there, right? And I want to keep it there. I like that. You know? It's a little massive compared to the stream, but you get the idea, right? Logo's there or whatever. I have a few ideas. I like this stream being designed on the fact that it's like cult-based. I don't know why I went with that, but that's what we're doing, and I'm sticking with it. So like, my first thought was like, hey, what if we go even more in depth with that? I don't want the fucking... Jesus Christ. I don't want colors. There we go. Okay, so what if we did the stupid, like, thing where we're like this? Or, fuck, that was the worst star in the world. This is just, like, immediate thought process. Satan. Ha. Haha. Steve, I'm taking your quality here of shit. MS Paint quality. But, yeah, we put, like, this behind it. It'd be a little darker than that, you know? Something like that, right? And then maybe we have... maybe we have the glow. Glow, like it pulses, you know? We're gonna do some video stuff, too. But it's like, whoa, wow, look at that, whoa. You know? It does something fancy, you know? We could do that, and we could have, like, this behind it. We could be like, oh, it's spinning. Jesus Christ. I've never done anything with, like, Photoshop doing this, but okay. Oh my god, custom. Oh, no. No. Don't make me do it. Okay, do I have to do it the Steve way, or do I just have to do it my way? I don't know what my way is. I guess it's the Steve way, right? I don't have any other way to do it. Yes, Steve way? Okay. Well, that was not me doing it. But what it... God, I've got to think, like, how do you do it? You're like, okay, dude. Right? Okay, dude. It's so gritty. Why do you say it with so much grit? Just like, ugh. Oh, man. Anyway. There you go. And now just clip that for whatever reason. Now we just have, okay, dude. Okay. Whew. So, that's my first idea, by the way. I have other ideas. I was going to do that, too. I'm probably going to have to redraw this star, because that was terrible. It's still going to be bad, but I can make it a little better than that if I don't draw it in, like, half a second. It's like this. Right? And then like that. There you go. There you go. There you go. It's still bad, but it's better. Okay, and then... Do I know anyone that does Twitch emotes? Like animated animals? Oh, like animated Twitch emotes? I have no idea. I don't know anybody that does like that, but like an animated one, you mean? Can't remember which one the one for perspective is. I think I just need to activate it. Perspective! There we go. That's the wrong perspective, though. I need it like this. There we go. So, like, imagine... It's a little distorted. I need to fix that. There you go. There you go. There you go. So, like, here it's on a floor. Right? And it's underneath. Huh? Haha. And then you're like, holy shit! And it's, like, spinning underneath the thing. I can't do it in Photoshop like I want, but... Oh, Jesus! Oh my god. Steve, just know that you're gonna be like the source of every single sub on this channel. Or nearly. I don't think you are now. Well, that's not true. I think you might be. Oh my gosh. But okay, like imagine this, right? It's on the ground. I'm kind of liking how it looks already. I want like this cartoony aesthetic. I like that look. It's my recent aesthetic. I used to go with like real shit all the time. And I was like, okay. Like, hold on. Let me find a pic. Let me show you if I can find it. I want to show you like a image that I first made when I started like doing anything in Photoshop. Because I've done Photoshop image editing for like a long time. But like some of the first stuff I did was like when I was probably 13, maybe younger than that. And it's bad. It's really bad. And I have to see if I can find some of it. I don't know where I would have put it. I don't know, I have a folder called My Artwork. It's probably in there. What headphones am I using? They're invisible Bose headphones, probably. I don't know, the label fell off a while ago. Let's see if I can find something terrible. Oof, that's spicy. That's nice. That's great. Oof. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm finding stuff now. Oh, look at that. Oh, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Look at this. Oh. That's nice. Oh, that resolution is terrible, too. I'm a big fan of Skrillex. I've always been, but that's... Oof. Not good. Not good. Oh, I have just terrible stuff from past... Ooh, look at my amazing painting art. That's awful. That's terrible. It's a Yoshi. But it's like very bad. My art teacher in high school did not like my art. I can understand why. Because it's not great. I think I've gotten better in recent time. Just doing other stuff, but like this stuff is awful. Because like I have, there's that. This is like one of my hand-drawn things. That's not terrible. That was before Overwatch came out, by the way, so that's something that's not terrible. Not amazing by any means, but not terrible. And like... my actual... where is it? The obvious one, too. That's my thing. I can to an extent. I'm not like a super amazing artist by any means, but like this was probably my most recent thing I did. Maybe there was something else I did after that, but that's probably the most recent thing. I was wanting to draw the LOL emote, but I got lazy and didn't do it. I considered it though. I was gonna do it, but then I'm like, ugh. It's effort. And it looks fine. I wanted it to look like a normal emote. Josh OG. You can look up Josh OG. I don't know who that is, but I guess I'll find out. Who's Josh OG? let me do this. JossOG on Twitch. Okay, I can't see chat right now. Actually, I was going to do something really quick. Oh no, my stream. That's me! That's not who I want. I mean, me is cool, but... Ooh, JossOG. Ooh, that's a lot of people following. Hold on, I'm just putting my chat on my phone so I can see it when I'm doing it like this. Okay. So, what do we got here? Ooh. No, I don't want to watch these people. What emotes does this man have? Or this person? I don't know who they are. Ah, I see. Like a little ducky, a little quacky. I see. Ooh, there's like a segmented... I was about to say awesome face, but then I realized it's high. But yes, I see the bird. Well, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm the most amazing artist in the world, but I could give it a try if that's something you want me to do. Possibly. Okay. Alright, alright. Cool. Yeah, this is probably the most recent thing I've done. All the stuff I do is on, like, an iPad. Some stuff is, like... It's weird, too, because, like, for a while I was like, oh, I'm just gonna draw on an iPad with, like, my finger. And then that was terrible. And then what I did after that was I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it with, like, a stylus. And I got, like, a nice stylus. It's like a Bluetooth stylus. It has pressure sensitivity and stuff. And it was like, oh, that's cool. And then I lost it. And then it was back to the finger. And that was a terrible time. I eventually got, like, some cheap styluses, but they weren't, like, Bluetooth. They're just, like, normal styluses. But even that is so much nicer than using your finger for drawing on, like, a tablet. It's awful. Just buy, like, a dollar store stylus. It might not last you a long time, but that's so much better. Just something I have to mention. If you're somebody that's drawing on, like, a touch screen or something, just... Oh my god. Don't do the finger method. That sounds awful. But don't do that. Anyway. Okay. What were we doing before? We were doing this. I was gonna give an example here. Because I don't know if I can do this. Like, I mean, I know I can. I just have to have the right things. So I don't know if I can do it. Because I don't know if I have the things that I need to do this. Do I have anything that's a good example? No. That's terrible. That's not good. Do I have anything that works for this? Do I have any brushes? What is this? That is a smudge brush. That's not going to do anything because there's nothing there. I don't know if I have anything for this. Ooh, that's some blood. Whoa. Okay. No, what I wanted was something that was just going to do like a fire look, but I don't really have anything for that. So I guess I'm just going to use a regular brush, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. So like, I was like, okay, let's do this, and then have like some energy or something. Why is this not doing... Why is that a smudge brush still? That's not what I selected. Photoshop, please. Why are you still on the smudge? Give me a brush. Why are you on blood? Photoshop sometimes with brushes, I don't understand. I don't know why it wants to do that so bad. Okay, so like we have like weird little flame bursts that are like, oh, energy. Oh, and it swirls around. Or something weird like that. I don't know. I can't really convey it because energy just looks the way that whatever asset file I use looks like. Because I have like different... where did that window pop up? There we go. Let me see if I can find something to give you an example of what something like that would look like in video form of what we might be working with there. I have to see if I can actually find anything here, because I don't know. I can't show you the one that I would actually be using, because the actual assets I'd be using would be like terrible. I have some fire. We could maybe use some fire. That would be something. Ooh, big fire flames. Everybody likes fire, right? Fire's cool. Does this load? The music's gonna stop for a second. Whoa, fire, look at that. Burny fire. That's cult-like. Cults and their fire, you know? That's the thing. Oh, the music just started again? That's kind of cool. I didn't know that happened. VLC, I learned something today. Anyway. Ooh, that's even bigger fire. I think we got some fire to work with. I think fire will do the thing that we need it to do. That's cool. Stop playing the music, VLC. Okay. Actually, you know what? You can continue on your way. I won't interrupt you anymore. So you got the general sense of stuff. But a few things we need is one, we need a base thing like this, right? We need this. We need that. Not looking like I could use this, but like, you know, I want to make a proper one, so we'll do that. I mean, I have most of the work already done. I'm not even kidding. Like, most of this work is done. If you haven't noticed, if you're a sub of the channel, if you're not, that's fine, but if you're a sub of the channel, which a few of you newly are, so congratulations on that, but we have this thing. Whoa, now that's a small sub-badge version, but I have a big version of that. I thought that was the big version, it's not. Where's the big boy? I don't know where I put it. But I know I have it. Where are you at? Oh, maybe it's here. No, that's tiny too. Where's the big star? I can't find it. God damn it. I'm gonna find this thing. There's a lot of stuff in here. The amount of stuff... Here's the thing. By the way, one thing. Now that I'm thinking about it. If you're somebody who's doing Twitch streaming or thinking about doing Twitch streaming, the amount of files that you're gonna get for like overlays and things to put on the stream and logos and symbols and emotes and all that, and like thumbnails if you have like YouTube videos and stuff. Oh my god, that eats away at your hard drive space after a while. On top of if you like locally record your OBS streams, like I'm doing this now, I'm recording the stream with like multiple audio sources, like 3 audio tracks of different things. These files, depending on how long the stream is, could be like 20 gigs per file. You need some hard drive space for all that stuff. Now luckily I have some external hard drives myself that I could store that on. But just saying. Just saying. I can't find the star. I don't know where it is, so maybe I have to make it. Maybe I have to make the star again. Damn it. Oh wait. Oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. I know what I did. I'm stupid. But I don't know where that is. So I'm still kind of stupid. I made it in Illustrator, but I don't know where my Illustrator files are. I have to open Illustrator. Give me a second. Illustrator. Ooh, which one though? Oh no. Oop, never mind. Never mind, there it is. I don't know what we're gonna get. It could be something completely different than what I think, but I think it's right. Ooh, fancy symbol logo thing. That's cool. Alright, star. Please be the one I'm looking for. Actually, more useful, tell me where the file is. I would like to know that. God, this takes fucking ages. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. That's nice. That's nice. Now, I would be lying if I said I knew how to use Illustrator. I don't. I don't know how to use Illustrator. Don't know how it works. I followed a tutorial for this, if I'm being honest. Got no idea. I have a general idea. but it's very bad. Illustrator is like the one program that I'm like, I should know, but I don't know it. So, making the circle to go around this is probably not complicated, but I'm gonna be an idiot and not know. I have this, so that's a thing. I guess we could cheat. We could cheat with the circle. We could use Photoshop for this. Where is this file? Can I get properties? File info. Tell me where this is. That's not useful. Never mind. Okay. Don't know where the file is for this. God damn it. I legit don't know where this file is located. We have it. Where is it? Open document. Will that take me to... Ooh. Oh. It's in a mystery location. I found it. I found it. I found it. Okay, let's close this up. We don't need this. We do, but not right now. Okay. So, let's close this too. We don't need that. Or this one. Okay. So, first, before we do this, so I'm going to be moving into doing After Effects as well. We'll move into After Effects because that's where all the fun stuff is. That's where we get to spin the bottom and we get to add the fire and all that stuff. But this is like not the bad part. Not the bad part. Oh yeah, alright, I'll see you later, Steve. You have a great night as well. And thank you. Alright. But as I was saying, in Photoshop, it's not the boring part, but it is the base part. We're gonna make the star for the pentagram, but we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do the thing here where it's on the bottom and it's sitting like this. That's an After Effects thing. We'll do that later. We'll add the fire later. Really all we're doing here is we're making any like background environment, which won't be that complicated because I'm just thinking it should be like a black background with like a floor look. It's really all we need. It's really all we need. But we can do that. That'll be fine. So yeah. Anyway. I guess first we'll make that, we'll make the pentagram. So let's do that. I have to find the file again. I know where it is now, though. It's fine. I'll find it. There it is. It's in like a really weird folder. I gotta move that. Because I was taking like a lynda.com, which doesn't exist anymore because I think that's LinkedIn Learning now, but a lynda.com like tutorial thing, and I never finished it, but I have it like deep within files because that's what this dude was like, save it like this. Guess what? I would never save it the way he did. There's like 5 folders before you get to your project folder. Why would you do that? Just put it in like maybe a second folder, like have like one folder that's like Illustrator files and then have another folder that's like these ones, you know? I don't know. Give it whatever name you want, but like don't put it in like this folder and then these dates, and it's like you can just sort by date. You don't need to whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to actually I think I'm just going to drag this file straight into this one. Whoa, it's massive. Actually, you know what? Because it's so massive, I don't want to shrink down that resolution, so let's just work on it in this. How big is this image? Jesus Christ! You see that? It's tiny. 4,071 by 3,873. That's a little massive. But that's fine. We're gonna make it larger. Let me close a few of these images down. We don't need these. Yoshi. And the Reaper. And this. Alright, cool. So now we have this. So let's make this larger. Let's make the canvas larger. I don't know how much larger. Oof. For one, I'm gonna make the thing a square. Because everybody likes squares. The star isn't a square. Kind of weird. I would expect it to be a square, but somehow it isn't. Anyway. Let me do that. Let me do canvas size again. I don't know, we'll just add 1,000 pixels. That should work. We need the radius. There you go. Cool. So let's add a circle around this thing. So I just want it to look like this, which is not that bad, considering it's a circle. If it was like a square or something, it'd be a little harder, because getting a shape, I mean, if you get a shape and you convert it to the right kind of shape, like, you know, if you can convert it to a path, a bunch of technical stuff, you can get like an edge that has these kind of sharp sort of edges on them, you know, where you're looking at it like this. But like, you know, a lot of the time Photoshop, for like its edges or its strokes or whatever you want to call it, make them round. So that's what's nice about Illustrator, because you can set which ones you want to be pointy or sharp edges or whatever. So that's the one downside to Photoshop, and a big reason of learning Illustrator. Another reason is the fact that you can make Illustrator doesn't work with images traditionally like Photoshop does. It works with vectors, which are not actual pixels. They're just like data, basically telling you like this goes to here and it's this color, so it can be whatever size you want it to be. So in Illustrator, I could have made this size double the resolution and it wouldn't have lost any quality. Same as if you go down, it's not going to weirdly crush the image. I mean, it could be really tiny, so it could just look bad, but it's not going to make it a jumble of pixels like Photoshop will. Now, Photoshop does have vector shapes. It's base shapes. Like, this is a vector shape. I can change the size of this. It's not going to look any worse. But if I say here and I go rasterize it, then now if I blow it up a lot, I already made it massive, so, but if I look at it, you can kind of start to see a little bit of blurring on the line. I don't know if that's translating through Twitch quality, but you can kind of see how the edge isn't nearly as crisp. It starts to blur a little bit. Let me undo all that. I actually want to delete this file in general. Let me make a new circle, because it was not perfect circle, which is what we need. Okay. Let's center that. I don't think the circle's big enough. We might need to make the canvas a little bit bigger. Let me add another 1,000 to the canvas size, because I don't think it's big enough still. There we go. This is a big file, by the way. I don't know why I'm working with a file this massive, but hey, that's what we're doing. Okay, so first we're going to turn off this fill, because we want a stroke. That's all we want. So let's make that nice and red. Let's actually take this red, because I think the red on this star is not an exact red. I think it's... oh no, it is. Never mind. I thought I was more creative than that. It's fine. There you go. Circle around the pentagram. It's not doing the one I want, which is inside. Let me do that. Okay, so we want to match the width of the star, maybe make it a bit thicker for some variety. It's a little too big. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Actually, I'm going to make it a bit, not too much smaller, because we're going to add another line in the middle and the outside of this. So all we're going to do here, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to do a stroke on the outside, and you're going to see that now we have a stroke on both sides. And we want to match the star width as well. So now we have that. Look at that. Beautiful. Now the star is not perfectly centered image, so we're going to have to move this down a little bit to match where this is. I'm just going to use the arrows for that. Actually, no, I can drag it. It's a big image, so it's going to be hard to kind of match. We're going to try to just eyeball it here, because that's probably the best course of action. Whatever looks right to you. Here's the thing. You can have exact looks of things. You can be like, oh, this thing is, you know, in the exact center. But if it looks wrong, then maybe just take the time to move something where you want to move it. And be like, hey, that looks more right. And if that's the case, then that's what's right. But to me, that looks better. It looks like it's down a little too low, actually. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Somewhere here. Does that look right? It's a judgment call. It's a judgment call, I'll be honest. I'm thinking somewhere here. I'm using the Twitch stream window as well to be like, does that look good at a smaller size? Yeah, I would say so. maybe something we could do that might look better. That might not look better, so let's try it. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. What I might do is I'll make another circle. This one will be black, and we'll just put it underneath. Also hold Control, and that'll give you a circle that just is always perfect. And if you hold Alt, it'll do it from the center. I don't like it as much. I don't like it as much. Maybe a dark red. Could we do a dark red? Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't hate it. It's not great, but it gave me an idea. It gave me an idea. I'm thinking we can maybe make it a bit brighter. Kind of a mix. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. This is my idea. I have a few. We could add a drop shadow here, so what we could do, we could say, hey, how's it making that transparent? Oh, I changed the opacity. That's my bad. Add a drop shadow. We can do like black or something. Actually, not a drop shadow. We want an inner shadow. My bad. I'm being stupid. Inner shadow is kind of cool, because then you can get stuff like this. You can do like a distance thing. I don't know if this is perfectly in the right spot, so it might not actually work. No, it's not quite in the spot that I want it. I'm going to try to map this perfectly to the size of the other circle. It might take a little bit of time. I could just manually do this too. Maybe that's the better play. I'm not exactly sure. It's fine. Control A, we'll just center that. Oh, actually we need to lower it down a bit because we're not actually in the center. That I already established. Yeah, Photoshop, I get it. There we go. Okay, so that's closer to center, or better sizing anyway. We can do our inner shadow again. Might take a little bit to render because this is a big image. Yeah. I don't want it to be white though. I don't want it to be white. Size I want it to be, or the color I want it to be, is just black, and I'm gonna overlay that. Yeah, there we go. And it's like a little shadow. It's okay. It's okay. It's not as good as I was hoping it was gonna be. I'll be honest. We could do an inner glow too, and do a softer thing in here, and maybe that would work better. I'm not exactly sure. Ooh, I like it. That's kind of cool too. Maybe we can make it like a bright red. Give it like a glow. That's kind of cool. That is genuinely kind of cool. I like that. Give it a bit of a choke, give it more glow. Look at that. Now it's a glowing. It's a glowing one. You know what we can do? If we're going to use some softer colors, sometimes softer colors on harder colors makes things look kind of cool. It's a little bright in the middle still. I think it should be darker. So I'm just going to take a really massive brush. Like super massive. Like there you go. I forgot this was a big image. We need even bigger. Boom, there you go. We're going to take black. We're going to go underneath the star, but on top of this circle layer. You can't see it because my face is in the way, but I'm going to go in between those layers, and we're just going to go as close to center as possible. And boom. There you go. Nice, look at that. That's a nice look. I like that. Now the only other thing I'm going to do is nah, I think we're good. I think we can leave it like that. It'll be fine. Because I was like, maybe we can add a lighting effect to that, but we can do that in After Effects later. So I'm just going to use what we have. Anyway, I'm going to group that. I'm just going to say Control A. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this too, which might take a little bit because it's a massive file. There we go. And we'll merge that. Group together. So then we have like a master image of this. It's not in a group. Then we can control it, which now we have it selected. And we can say crop, and that'll make it the exact size of the image. However, there's something that's bigger on the outside. I'm not sure what that is. It's apparently in the file. What is big? This? I don't know. Something's apparently a little bit bigger. It's fine though. I don't have a problem with that. Let's just save it like that. We have this image, and it's still pretty much center. It's not quite center. We can fix that later, actually. Well, you know what? No, I want to fix that. Let me just do this. This should delete everything on the outer edge. There we go. Now we can say crop. Now we can say crop, and it shouldn't be a problem. There we go. There we go. Fixed it. I don't know what was on the outside, but apparently there was something. Bring up the crop. Now it's centered. So when we spin it later, it'll be perfectly centered and we don't have to try to fix that at a later date. It'll just be all good. So there you go. I'm going to save this. You can't see the window, but I'm just going to save this somewhere. Where is this saved? Okay. I'm just saving it as alt pentagram because it's a variation of other pentagrams I have. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm going to keep it as a Photoshop file because we can load that directly into After Effects later. Actually, you know what? I will save a PNG version because then I can show you a better example of what this will look like, and we can kind of look at it before we put it into After Effects and see if we like the look of it. And if we don't, we can change it. Because realistically, by the time we get into After Effects, we want to see if we actually like the look of what we're doing, and we know what we're doing going into After Effects. That's the hope, anyway. That's the ideal hope, anyway. Sometimes you're not going to get that. There you go. Pentagram. Looking good. Looking good. Looking cool. Alright, so let's slap that under the logo. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to change the perspective on this. So we're going to go transform, perspective. Actually, you know what we're doing? Oh no, it's already smart object. My bad. Yeah, we want to make sure it's a smart object first, because if it's a smart object, what we can do is we can modify it in a way that it essentially will... Oops. I'm going to distort this. There we go. There you go. Look at that. That looks great. I love that a lot. We can drag it back a little bit. Look at that circly nature. Look at that. Look at that. That's looking good. I like that a lot. And then what we can do too, even though this is glowing, the riskRED logo, what we could do this in After Effects too. It's not hard to do. We'll probably do it in After Effects, but what we could do, and it could even be a static image just on top of this, is we could take like some black here, we could do like a thin little line like this. Actually, we can do a straight line just like that. And then we can blur this more with Gaussian blur, get it real blurred. Like that, and then it's like kind of above the logo. Like that's the shadow from that. And then maybe we could even edit it in a way where it's like, oh, look it. It's glowing. Like the pentagram's glowing too. Like, whoa, it's glowing. I don't know. We could figure it out. We can figure that out later. But yes, so there you go. That's that. So then after that, my other thought, and I don't really know how to, like, what we're gonna do for this, because I have a picture in my mind of what we could do, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, because I don't know what I don't know what I have, so I don't know what'll work for this, but hopefully we can get some energy stuff going here. And I know we looked at the fire, but I don't know if that's gonna be what I want to do. I kind of want it to look more mythical, more magical, if you will. So maybe that would be something cool to look at. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know what I have. I don't have a huge amount of assets, but I have a bunch of assets that are from Infinity War, or at least I think that's what it's from. I don't know. I was given it from a friend, and it's a bunch of cool stuff, and there's a lot of stuff called energy, and there's also dust and embers, but that is like, okay. I also have shockwaves. The stuff that's in energy is insane. There's so much stuff here. Like, I'll read some names. I got stuff that's called chaotic, energy bomb, energy disperse, energy leak. Oh my god, energy throw, flow, fluid smoke, fractals, force, ink, quick energy burst, residual energy. That might be something we want to look at. Spirit flame. Spirit flame, that's such a cool name. There's a lot of spirit flame. And then we got wisps. There's some in there that I didn't get to. There's a few called ripple. There's a few called ink. Narrow blast, orbit. Orbit sounds cool. We can come up with some stuff. All of those are made in a way, they're all like just a layer that you can make transparent. I think they're already transparent actually. So we can just pop those on and they're just there. And they're pretty much left for you to do with what you will. You know? You can just do what you want to do and it doesn't really matter. So we can do whatever. So okay, that's fine. So we'll do that. But here's another thing. I want to make a ground. So we've already kind of established our layer for the pentagram. So we could do that. We could honestly leave this on a layer that's like this kind of look. Maybe we'll do that. I'm not really sure. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. I think it's a little too tall. I think it's to be a little bit flatter. That looks a little bit better to me. So okay, all right. Something else we could do, and I'll just give you an example here. To create some depth, what you can do is you can use tilt shift, and we could do this in After Effects as well. But it does take up some resources. Realistically, whatever I do is going to take up some resources to do, but that's fine. It's what I expect. But like, here's a look that we could do to create the actual depth that we want. So let's move this to center, right? So like the center of our tilt shift is there. We could say it's going to blur a little bit on the outside here, but it's not going to be that bad. It's just going to blur a little bit at the front. That's going to blur like a lot in the back, like this. And that's going to create a lot of our depth. Like that. And then we can blur this up a little bit. Say high quality. And let me just render this. And I'll show you what this looks like. Just as a quick idea. So this gives a little bit of depth, right? So this is like the background. There's not a lot there. But now this suddenly has a bit of depth and this riskRED logo looks like it's actually kind of in the middle, right? Let me try to do it a little bit differently just to see if I can get it to be a little bit more obvious. Because I know that these are kind of like fine details that are harder to see with the window being this small, but I'm trying to convey. I kind of have to exaggerate it a little bit so you guys can know what I'm talking about. But like, there you go. Let's do something like that. And something like that. Let me up the blur a lot. There. And let's say that. So that would be something maybe a bit more. So see how it's blurred now? So now this riskRED logo, even though it has nothing to convey the depth of where it is, because it's crystal clear and because we have a focal length illusion that makes it look like, because we're kind of mimicking a camera. With like a camera, you know, if you have especially a close shot, and I try to mimic close shots because I really like the way that like close shots or macro shots look, where like something's like, you know, super zoomed in and then it's like, look at how close this is, you know? It's like, those are cool shots to me. I like taking those as like photos and stuff. It's my favorite kind of thing. So with those shots, you get a lot of things that are like the focal length, the focus of your camera is very exact. So this is basically where our camera focus is right here. Well, more like, let me see if I can get it. Like kind of like here. It's kind of in this selection range, right? Let me use an actual rectangle shape. That'll help a little bit. So like here. Like this is our range. right here. Let me change this to a color that highlights it a bit more. So this is our focal range in the area where this rectangle is. And then like this area back here is like our back area where it starts to fall off and blur, and then this is our front. And so because this logo isn't blurred, and because this isn't blurred, your mind assumes that it's in the same plane, even though nothing about this logo says where it is, and the background doesn't exist. But just that little bit of detail makes you go, oh, that must be in the middle, kind of above this. And the shadow helps too. Even though this is glowing. Ignore that, it's fine. Because it's glowing, it wouldn't have much of a shadow. It would probably look like that. Or maybe a bit of a shadow. Maybe something more like that. Either way, we exaggerate things because we can. So anyway, so that's what that would look like, right? That's what that would look like. What we can do too, what I'm probably going to do, is maybe just make even a simple floor. It doesn't even need to have a design, I don't think. We could just go real simple with this. I'm thinking like what we could do is we could create a floor maybe somewhere here even, and we could just make it a dark gray underneath some of the stuff. What is this? Oh, that's our terrible pentagram. So we can make it like a really dark gray, very subtle. Like there you go. That's that, right? Actually, you know what would aesthetically be pleasing would be if we made it like a really dark red, because then it would match the aesthetic of the room. And everything can have a little bit of a red look. There you go. How about that? Maybe maybe I'll make it a little desaturated because it kind of makes it stand out now. Maybe something like that. Kind of looks terrible. Actually, I have an idea how we can make that work. So anyway, so we could just Gaussian blur this. Love the Gaussian blur. And it just falls into the distance, you know? It just blurs into the distance like that. And it kind of matches the blur of the pentagram, maybe something more like this. And I want to change this black background too. I think what we could do is we could have it be an even darker red. Something like this. And we can make it like something like this, maybe. From here to here. Right? And then we could do another Gaussian blur and make this really have a big blur to it. But it blurs into the black like that. So then we get like a room that looks something like that. And to add some color to this bottom floor, because it looks really terrible, we could add a shadow, or we could add a gradient. Maybe we'll add a gradient. That's just like one color on one side. We could either add black, which is what this is. That's brown. I don't know why that's brown. Oh, right, that's our reddish brownish color that we already have. Then we can do that up. We can get it in the right spot. So this would be exactly 90 degrees. And then we have something like that. Now that's a little dark. Realistically, what we want is something with a bit more color to it. So I think we could just make it a bit of a brighter red. And we have to change it here as well. Otherwise, we still have a bit of black in our layer. And we don't want to multiply it. But you see how we have a bit of color in that? We can do something like that. You know, and then we get a bit of color at the front of our thing and all that. And then the reason why I was saying we should add a glow to this bottom thing is just because it might integrate it better in the floor. But I don't actually know if that's going to help or not. It kind of helps a little bit. Maybe a drop shadow would be better. Just because with a drop shadow we can control where it goes, like we have distance, so we can do something like that. We can do something like this. Maybe we can even make it a shadow. Instead, ooh, it's like floating now. That's kind of cool. Maybe we could make it float above the floor. I don't know. Maybe that's a look. I don't know. That's something I wasn't planning for, but that's another thing you'll get when you're doing stuff like this, is you might do some stuff that you weren't planning to do originally, and you're like, hey, that's kind of a cool idea, maybe we should do that. We'd add a glow too. I think the glow's more fitting. And it doesn't make it look like it's sitting above the thing. It kind of looks like it's bumping up a little bit, like kind of like a... It looks like it's got a bit of an arc to it. It looks like it goes up. But it looks like it's starting on the floor, and it just is glowing because it's cursed energy. I don't know. I think this looks better. I think we should go with something like that. Again, this is all concept stage. A lot of this we're going to do in After Effects. Some of these images, this background I might develop a little bit more and turn into something a little bit nicer. But yeah. I'm going to boost the saturation of this. I don't like this gray color. Yeah, that looks better. It looks almost like a pool of blood. Ooh, cryptic. I'm thinking then, instead, because this is a brighter red color, maybe we'll just make this a darker red color? We could make it black, too, and overlay it that way. I'm thinking just a darker red color might look better. Yeah. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Maybe we'll just make it straight up black, and we'll just integrate it. Just do this. And we can say overlay, and that'll keep the color. Oh, sorry. Overlay. Wait, no, I did change it to overlay. Why is it not doing that? That's strange. Oh, you know what it's doing? I think it is getting the color. It should be getting the color. I don't know what it's doing. It's still black. Alright, never mind. I don't know why it's doing that. It should be integrating the color. Maybe it's just too dark of a color. I don't know. I just want to make sure it's actually the pure color and not just straight up black. Anyway, there you go. A little bit darker. I think maybe we could make the glow a little darker now. I think it's a little bright. Stands out too much now. You can even turn the opacity down, make it subtle. There you go. Something like that. And then we could maybe make the size a bit bigger. I'll be honest, in the background I heard that, like, bit of music, and I was like, what the hell is that? I was like, what the hell? I have it really low for me, and I just heard, like, the steel drums going really generally, and the chords are, like, the same as the Mr. Bean theme. You know, like, the... That whole thing. If you've ever seen the intro of Mr. Bean. It sounded like that. I don't know why. It's just what I had. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But anyway. Okay, so I'm liking the look of this. I don't like the contrast here. I don't like the contrast right there. I think that needs to be darker. So I think a way you could do that is just add black. Like we could just add big brush. Once again, turn the hardness all the way down, make it soft. Big brush, that's a little too big. Thinking maybe 1,000 here. Maybe that's too big. Maybe 500. For some reason these are the specific values. It's hard to get anything between 500 and 1,000. I don't know why. You could type it in, but I'm lazy. So we could just get something like black, pure black, just make a straight line like this, and then what I'll do is I'll blur it. Not box blur. Box blur sucks. Nobody likes box blur. Gaussian blur all the way, baby. What I might do is I might just shrink this down a little bit. And do something like this, maybe? It's hard to say. I like that. I'm not sure. Maybe the background should just be that color. I don't know. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I like it, but I don't. You know, it's one of those things. Another thing we could do... Let's get rid of that. We could stretch this, too. We could just stretch it like this. The only problem is... I don't know if that's going to be completely good. I'm liking the black more. I'm thinking maybe we should just drop that background color and just make it straight black. Ooh, it looks really weird when you're mixing colors like that, but maybe it should just be straight black. I don't know. We'll just put that in. Let's see what regular black looks like. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Just something like that, maybe? Hard to get, like, smooth colors feeling right, you know? I'm thinking that's better. Just having the floor be a color and not having anything in the background, just having it black. Like, maybe something else we could do. This is something I like to do with color, too. What we could do is we could take, not a hard brush, we could take a really, or not a soft brush, we could take a really hard brush, take a bright color, we'll take bright red, hear me out, this might not work, I don't know. We'll do this, we'll take some color here and we could go like this, and then that, and maybe a bit of this, you know, maybe a bit of this action, like something like this, I don't know. Something like that, there you go. And then we could blur it. Actually, it might be a little too thick, so maybe we'll use median on it or something, I don't know. We could blur it together, there you go, that's better. And then we could blur it with Gaussian blur. And then we get a bunch of weird colors. We don't want to blur it too much. We want to blur it something like where it's not really recognizable, but it's like something of color, like that. And then we will just say like overlay or something. So this is black, so I don't know if we can get away with that. Not really. We could say soft light, or not soft light, sorry. Let's just leave it on normal, that might be the best way. And then we could turn like the fill down. And then we could leave it. Ooh, that's subtle. That's subtle. I like that. There you go. It might be hard to see. You might not see it. It looks a little bit more visible on stream than it does on my monitor directly, but you can kind of start to see like a weird kind of background. It's just kind of random. But there's a little bit of color there, but it's really dark still. Right? But there's something going on. It almost looks like storm clouds in the background, but it's really dark. And that's just something. That's just something. It's random, but it looks like something. And I've done that for multiple things, where it's just like a little bit of weird design back there. But there's something there. There you go. Let's use that. And something I might do for a little bit of extra design pop. Just add a bit of more variety in terms of the tones, in terms of the lighting. That little blood drop thing. Let's go back to that real quick. Was it this? Yes. Okay, let's turn the scale up a little bit. And just take some of these blood splatters. Do that. Why not? Why not? And we'll blur these too. Except we'll use a lens blur. Lens blur's fancy. And also might rev up my computer because it's very, very big. Yes, we'll rev it up. We'll do something like that. So these are like some little splotches. There you go. And then you get some like bokeh. If you don't know what bokeh is, it's basically just like blurring lights on purpose to make them look aesthetic. Let's just turn that down. I don't want them to be too bright. I just want them to be back there. There you go. So there's something there. And that might go well with the energy effect. Something we might want to do is maybe, this is just a concept thing, maybe we'll remove this from the background when we actually use it in After Effects, and we'll try to recreate that look with the little bit of stuff there, and it could be moving, and maybe rising, and it could look like little like fiery embers just in the background. Very subtle, but it's something, right? Something that looks cool, something that's just there, you know, something, right? Something. So, maybe that's something cool to do. Anyway, so there's that. I'm liking this so far. You know, it's got an aesthetic to it. I'm going to save it. I haven't saved it since we started the stream. Good God. Why have I not done that? Why have I not done that? Also, the glow on the riskRED logo is a little too bright now. It's also a little too noisy, too. It's got a little bit of a grainy effect. I'm not quite into that, but let me just save this. We'll just save that it says riskRED stream BG concept. I don't know. Amazing names, but usually the best thing too, in my experience, if you start doing, if you're not somebody that does like a lot of photo editing or anything like that, or just in terms of like making files, in terms of videos, in terms of anything like that, recommendation, if you do get into that, name your files literal names of what they are. Because you might be looking for a specific file that you're like, what is this? What am I looking for? And then all of a sudden, you get something and you're like, I know what I'm looking for, but what's the file name? And you just don't know. You just don't know what you're looking for, and it's kind of like, it's annoying. It really is. I was looking for a sound file for one of Schiller's videos recently, editing one of those, and I was looking for a sound file for one of the first Megastream videos for the intro, and I was looking for this sound just during the little intro where it's selecting names. If you haven't seen it, go to Schiller's videos, and there's like a shine effect, and that sound for the shine was something I already like had, and I was like, I gotta use that, and I was like, oh my god, I know what I'm looking for, but what's the file name? I named the file huh.wave. Why? It took me forever to find that sound effect for the Megastream intro, but I found it, and it was worth it. It sounded perfect for what I needed. Please do the emotes, you'd be insane. Well, hopefully. We'll see. Actually, hand drawing the stuff takes a bit more effort, but I could totally do it. At least try to. All my stuff that I draw is like kind of cursed, though. Or that's kind of the driving force behind it. Oh, your intro music? Okay, perfect. Actually, you reminded me, at some point I gotta finish my end card music that I use for the main YouTube videos. Just like, I made it one day and I finished part of it. And I was like, oh my god, I gotta finish it. I haven't finished the track. I only did the drop part for the end card and I haven't actually finished the track. Because that could be something I could, like, you know, release somewhere, which would be great, but I haven't done that yet. Anyway, there we go. So, riskRED glow looks a little bit better. I had it set to precise, which is awful. Yeah. The way you designed the riskRED on the screen is so good. What do you mean by that, specifically? Just like the whole thing, or this logo? I feel like we need to add like a pattern. I feel like we need to add some sort of design to this floor or something, just to make it feel like it's a little bit more than just a blurry mess, you know? Something that brings out the contrast. Like we added a little bit of focal length here, right? The base? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. You want to make it feel... what's the thing? Oh, there's the meme for, like, the IGN game reviews where it's, like, for all the Batman games, and it's like, it really makes you feel like Batman, and, like, every journalist says that. It really makes you feel like you're in hell. That's what we need. But yes, I need a pattern here. Yeah, I like to be... Here's the thing. The power of using contrast with like glows and shadow is really cool, but you gotta be subtle with it. You gotta know what you're wanting to achieve, because if you're just trying to like... You're like, oh, I need something with a floor, and I need something with a background, and I need it to really look like it goes on forever, or something like that. You gotta know... what you gotta have a picture in your mind for stuff like that, because otherwise you're gonna just try different things, and you're gonna, unless you've done it for so long, like you've done things like it before, if you don't have the full experience, you're probably not gonna get the effect that you're trying to achieve. And there's stuff even now that I've done where it's like, I'll do it and not really know exactly what I'm doing, but the experience of just doing stuff for so long in, like, the first program I used was paint.net, which is still available, free program. Really, really good for customizability. You can add a lot of plugins to it, which is really cool. So highly suggest that program for that stuff. There are a few things in paint.net that are plugins that aren't features in Photoshop that I miss, but whatever. There's still ways to achieve those same effects. It's just either more work or longer work. But anyway, so basically, like, let me find an image. So I did an Among Us video on my channel, which I didn't plan to do, but my friends wanted to play some Among Us videos. Just friends from my college program. We still talk because nobody really was able to talk to anybody once the pandemic hit. So, you know, we all graduated and we're like, cool. I hope the other people in the program are happy with graduating. So we ended up talking online and we were like, let's play some Among Us. And so we did. So that video has an intro, so I had to make it a background based off Among Us. And so this is what I did. I don't think in that intro I added it. There's the one thing I regretted. I wanted to add like a blur effect. Like I wanted to add it like this, where it was like the floor was in focus, because that's where all the characters were going. The characters kind of drop in. So I wanted to do it in a way where it's like, okay, the floor is in focus here, and then after that it kind of like drops off. So that's like the only thing, and then it looks like this, right? And so that's like what I was hoping for, but I don't think I actually did that in the video. So, but making that background, I've never made a background like that before in my life. Not really. I've made stuff kind of similar, though, and that's what I'm saying. The experience factor is like the main thing that really helps you out there. Here, let me show you some of the Among Us characters that I did, if I can find those two. Wherever I did them. There they are. So, I did different characters for friends of mine. So here's mine. That's when I had longer hair, so it's based off that, same as the profile picture here on Twitch. But yeah, so like the characters drop in, they come in from here, and they just go, and then they drop in. So like mine's there. I have my friend Hunter. I do a podcast with him. We're recording a podcast tomorrow. Echo Video Podcast. Check it out on YouTube. So here's his. That's the Echo Video logo, which I also did. So there's his. My friend Carly Ann, she has an Animal Crossing YouTube channel, so there's hers. And I based it off of her aesthetic. She has a background that she uses that has these like leaves, so I drew the leaves in the character, and I also put an Animal Crossing hat that she wears on her character on the thing. A friend of mine, Parker, which doesn't really have a YouTube channel, so I just based it off of the one he plays in game, which is the egg hat. And then our friend of mine, Chills, which I didn't know much about his channel at the time, I just knew him personally, but his account name was Chills, so I assumed it was based off of ice and stuff, so I gave him ice hair. Yeah, there's all the beans! I think they're called beans, I don't know. I've heard people call these things beans, so I call them beans. So yeah, and we were gonna record another video, but we never got around to it, where I have friends of mine that we didn't end up doing a video of, but my friend Cody, which has a YouTube channel as well, so I did his. He's a ginger man with a beard and long hair, so that's what I did. And then our friend Alexis, and I just based it off of what they look like because they don't have YouTube channels. Well, Cody does now, but he just, you know, it's like small clips of stuff of like gameplay that he does, so they don't really have mascots or anything, so I just based it off of them. But anyway, so a bunch of different Among Us beans. Cool stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent based on just the fact that, like, again, to restate, I think the best way, if you want to get into doing, like, actually doing proper editing of photos and stuff and all that kind of stuff, just like do it with no actual proper objective to it. Like, just don't force yourself into the thing of, I want to do a photo because I need it for this purpose. Do one that you're like, I want to do a photo like this because that would be fun. And maybe it won't work out, maybe it will. I don't know. That's how I originally learned it, is just trial and error. And obviously you have YouTube now. When I first was learning it, like, YouTube was around, obviously, but the tutorials on there were all playing, like, what the heck's the song? Dreamscape or whatever? Ugh. In Windows Movie Maker, and it would pop up and be like, awesome! Photoshop tutorial! And then it would be, like, recorded at, like, 5 frames per second, and you're like, oh my god, please stop. So, a lot of it was trial and error. So you have YouTube now with, like, actual proper videos and people teaching Photoshop and stuff. So you can learn this a lot easier now. But I still recommend just, you know, have fun with it. Just go around and do stuff. Just do whatever. Just mess around. That's the best way to learn it, I would say. But anyway. But yeah. I have another piece of art I can show. This is like the last hand-drawn thing I did, because I was like, god damn, I want to do some hand-drawn art. And god, if my one friend ever sees this, they'll probably be like, that's weird, why did you draw that? But, you know, I drew it because their photo came up, and I based it off one of their photos. It was based off of a friend of mine. And I just drew it, so that's that. It's kind of bad, but whatever. I haven't drawn hand-drawn in, like, years. Since, like, maybe end of high school, maybe not even, probably, like, the year, like, before the last year of high school. Probably the last time I did hand-drawn stuff, so it's been a little while. Oof. Anyway. Okay. So, yeah, let's get back to this. I want to add a pattern. I want to add a pattern to this. I think we can do that. I'm not really sure. What could we do? It's got to be cursed. It's got to be something good. We could add, like, some bricks or something, but, like, if we're going to do that, I want to make a pattern that's, like, our own pattern. I don't want to just go online, because you could do that. You could do that. That's super easy. You could just be like, oh, let's go online here. I still have this Josh OG person up, but let's go online and be like, brick pattern. Brick pattern. Oh, look at all these bricks. There you go. We could just use that. I mean, it's low resolution. You probably don't want to use that, but how about this one? Oh, by the way, here's another thing. If you have a stock image that's like, this is a stock image, you have to pay, like this one, you could probably fix that. Here, I'll show you an example. I'm not going to do the whole thing. But here, oh, this is an HTML. God damn it. No, I don't want to download an HTML. That's awful. Can I download it from the website and not be an HTML? Please? Oh, there we go. Ooh, memes folder. A lot of those don't have context to them. Okay, let's just put it there for now. Cool, I have this thing now. So, like, if you go here, right? You got a watermark. You can get rid of this. You want to know how you can get rid of this? See this camera? See this camera? You can get rid of this. With the power of magic. Okay, so this one's pretty, not like terrible. It is a pattern, so it makes it a bit harder because we have to be consistent. But we could take, like, I don't know, from here and say, boom. There you go. Put that there. I don't know, take from here again. Or maybe, ooh, we could take from here. That's kind of a unique element, though. Let's, ooh, up here. There we go. We could put that right there, and maybe paste the next one there, too. There you go. We could take something from here and say, oh, let's paste that right there. And yeah, you can just literally use other parts of the image to get rid of it. Don't pay for stock photos unless you have to. It's more convenient. This would take fucking ages to do, but you could do it if you really wanted to. You could also, if you really wanted to, if you didn't need it to be in focus, with one like this, you could just say Gaussian blur. Let's Gaussian blur it. Boom, there you go. You can't even see it. But that's not really practical. It's more practical for images. If you need like a pattern image, just like find one until, like, keep searching until you find one that's like a pattern that's like, you know, something that is a nice resolution. It doesn't have a watermark on it. But if it's like, oh, I need an image of a person, like a stock photo person, but oh, the one that I need and the one that works perfect for me is covered in watermarks. Take the time on that one to do the clone stamping. That one takes a bit longer depending on where the watermarks are. Here's a good example. See if I can find this. So I made a thumbnail for one of my videos that was a... Oh god, I'm trying to think. It was a Bowser's Fury video, which I need to make more of. But a Bowser's Fury video. Here it is here. Here's the Photoshop file. Oh god. It's gonna be a mess. But here it is, right? So, like, there's a lot of different elements to this. But the one... See this dude here? I needed a stock photo of this dude. I needed that dude down there. How do you get that dude? Where does the dude come from? I don't know what layer he's on. There we go. So, this dude... where's the image? So this is the image of the dude. So, like, I don't know. Here's the Bowser head. That's the dude. I cut off the top of his head there because I didn't need it, but, you know, you get it, you get it. So, there's that there, right? That picture of that dude. Let's see if I can find it. I'll actually look it up here because I might be able to find it. Office worker clipboard. I don't know. See if we can find it. Because I don't know where the original is. Actually, you know what I think I looked up? I think I looked up, like, anger management. Yeah, anger management. Stock photo. Oh god. These are all terrible. Clipboard. Alright, I don't know. I can't find it, but you know what I mean? I think I have it, actually. Hold on. I know this is kind of a lost cause, but I want to show the example, right? I want to show the example of that base. I want to show you. I'm looking now. I'm looking now. I might be able to find it. It's in one of two places. I know that for sure. In one of two places. I would imagine. I would have had to save it somewhere. I have a whole folder full of just like stock images. So I have to like scroll through and see where it is. It's not actually in there. I didn't put it in the stock photo. Oh no, I did. There it is. There it is. I found him. Here he is. There he is. So here's the man. Not a hugely amazing resolution, but it was good enough for what I was doing. So like, boom. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. So iStock by Getty Images. Right on the tie, right on the clipboard. Oh, man, what the hell? Oh, what a terrible thing. I need to get rid of that one. I did. See? It's gone. It's not there. I clone stamped it. I took parts of his tie and put it there, and I added colors and gradients and stuff to, like, get rid of this. And, like, you can see that his clipboard is cursed, and there's still bits of artifacts of images, but from here, you can't tell. That's not what you're looking at. You're looking at the big Bowser face. That's the more important part. So, you know, stuff like that. It's fine. Yeah. Also, if you look at the image at this quality, too, here's the thing with YouTube thumbnails. They don't need to be perfect quality. Big shock, by the way. They don't need to be perfect quality, because, like, literally, you could just have it be really blurry images. Like, this is pretty blurry. This is from, I think, the actual direct stream video. And then, like, I added, like, some fire aesthetic smudging and stuff to his fire breath here to make it blend in properly. And I added some, like, flame stuff. So I think there's extra, like, this is really crisp quality right here, because I think that's from another photo. Anyway, point is, not super great quality. The logo is, because that's from the official website. and all that kind of stuff, and like my logo is, but some stuff and like the stock photo is not in great quality. As long as it's not terrible quality, it doesn't really matter, because on the YouTube thumbnail, it's going to be scaled down. So as long as it's not like, you know, example, if it doesn't look like that, then you're probably fine. If it doesn't look like this, then it's probably cursed. But that's good enough. I could have probably gone here and said like sharpen more or something. Maybe like do that a couple times and it would have, yeah, like that looks a little bit better. It obviously has artifacts in it, but I mean like on the YouTube thumbnail it might have popped a little bit better. But you know, whatever. You can't be a perfectionist either. Don't take all your time in the world to make everything perfect, because otherwise you're just going to waste all your time and you'll never finish anything. Because the main important thing is you can work on stuff, but if you suck at actually finishing things, then, you know, what's the point? Especially if you're doing things for work. So yeah. Anyway, pattern. Once again, we're back to the pattern. I gotta finish the goddamn pattern. I haven't worked on that yet. I gotta do it. Okay, here's the thing. What could we do as a pattern? Now, we could make a completely random pattern. We could say, like, hey, I want to make it look like, I don't know, cobblestone, and we'll make it out of, why is that a fucking star? Oh, it's polygon tool. That's why. It's a star. No, we could make it like, I don't know. I wanted it to be a cobblestone thing. I wanted it to be like a pentagram. Why is it so star? No star, please. Oh, star ratio. 100. There you go. Now it's not a star anymore. Okay, cool. So now we can have it be like this. We could say, like, let's do that. And I don't know, let's do another shape down here. And like this. And then we could rotate them and stuff and put them in weird spots. And I don't know. There you go. That's part of a pattern. We could do that for ages if we really wanted to. Or we could just go to the pattern thing here and use that. I don't know if we have anything that'll be good for that, though. That's the only problem. So maybe we might have to go and do that. If that's something we have to do, I don't know if I really want to do that right now, but what am I looking for? What am I looking for? Actually, I am looking for a shape. That's what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a pattern fill. We can get some weird fills. So we can get stuff like this. Wow. What is that? That looks gross. We can get stuff like this. You know, some of the patterns are like actual images, so they just look cursed. What is that? That's awful. I don't like looking at that. Why are we looking at this? But then we have other ones like this. That are just lines. Like, those are cool. Those are actually useful. To an extent, you know. We have other ones. We have ones that are like that. That's fucking weird. A lot of these are really weird. We can set the scale higher. Like, we can scale these. But they get blurry. That's the only problem, because they're based off of low resolution images. So they get a little blurry as you go up. We gotta find something that might work, you know? And I would like it to be something like this. Like, even that would work well. It doesn't need to be something amazing. Stripes would work. You know, I'm thinking like bricks or something, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't. It really doesn't. So, you know, I think I actually have, and I might look for it. It's in texture fill. Yeah, so these are like actual textures. Those are cool, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. We could use it. Like, realistically, we could use this. So we could say, like, do this, and then shrink this down, and then stretch this across, right? And then we could set the scale lower. We could use this, and I'll show you what that would look like. I'm going to set the scale a bit lower because it's a little too precise. These textures are nicer because you don't really see the repetition nearly as much. So that's good. But you're going to notice that we're going to have to set it to multiply. Right? And you already see that. It looks cool. It looks cool. It's just not really what I'm going for. Like, we set it to that. We can set this to its own thing. So we could, like, rasterize this. But now we can't resize it without it getting blurry. And let's just set that back to multiply. And then what we'll do is we'll say, we'll do the tilt shift blur that we did. And we'll try to match the pentagram we just did, right? So we'll try to get this in the right spot. We might have made it a little too shallow on the one thing, but what we might be able to do is just do this. Then we do that. We can set it to high quality just to make sure that we get a nice quality out of it. And we do that. And there you go. It's not perfect because the perspective's off. But you get it. It kind of is giving you a bit of a sense of perspective, right? And it's got some variety in the base. But it's not exactly what I'm looking for. That's not a terrible thing. I could use that, honestly. But now it looks really weird without a texture. So like now we need something, right? Because otherwise it just looks terrible. So like, let's do that. But I'm going to look through some stock photos that I have here and see if I have anything that we could use, maybe just to save some time. Because I might have some things that we might be able to use. I do have some pattern things. And it could be a crisper pattern. I think that actually would work, so I'm not against that. I was kind of wanting to go for something that looked more like a cartoony pattern, but you know what? I don't think we need to do that. I think a realistic pattern actually wouldn't look terrible. I thought it was going to look bad, but I guess I'm wrong. Kind of looks good. Kind of looks good. I'm looking through patterns now, just trying to see what I got here. I thought I had a brick one, like an offset brick pattern, but I can't seem to find it, so maybe I don't. Maybe I don't anymore. I know I had one, but I can't find it. I do have a lot of images in here. Actually, something else I might want to do, too. That kind of cloudy background that we have, it's kind of cool, but maybe we could put actual clouds back there. There's no reason we couldn't do that. You know? I don't know. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. I don't see why not. I'm going one more time to find the brick texture. If I can't find it, I can't find it. Actually, I'm going to look up brick. Just brick in my image thing. See if I can find it. If I put brick in there... It didn't type anything. There we go. If I put brick in there, maybe we'll find something. No, I just have real images of bricks. Okay, well, that sucks. Oh well. Okay, well, then what I'll do is I have this concrete texture. I think we'll use that. Got this little concrete texture here. It's kind of cool, kind of cool. A little low resolution, though. You know what? I actually like that. I had a stock image, not actually a stock image, an image that was given to me from a, some project I was doing. Some person gave me some images they took as like stock images. But they weren't stock images, they were actual photos they took, and they were really high quality. I was very shocked by them. Hopefully I have them saved, because they were great. They were amazing. Oh my god, I don't think I have them. Oh no. Oh, did I delete them? Oh, hopefully not. They're great. Oh no, I think I did. Oh wait, 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 I might have found it. That in the sense of, I don't think I found it, but it possibly could be in this folder. I don't think it is, though. It is not. Fuck. Oh, I deleted that? Really? Oh, disappointed. Oh, man. I'm just gonna look up one more thing to see if I can find it. Oh. Oh, nothing. Damn. That would have been a perfect texture, but I can't find it. And I don't think I have it in there. I don't want to use that concrete. I thought I did, but then I was looking at it. It's not a very good resolution. We have this like soiled dirt texture. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I like that one. I actually do like that one. That one's very nice. What we could do... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get this to the exact size of the actual thing. We'll center it like this. And then we'll say rasterize, we'll hit Control A, and we'll crop it. Which will take a little while, because it's a big image. There we go. And then what we can do is we can say transform, and we can say perspective. We can do that, and then we can also go transform and distort. For some reason that's skewing it. I want to do this. There you go. There you go. There we go. Look at that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it to grayscale, because that'll make it work better in our filters, and I'll also know how to adjust it so that we get our filter to work the best. So if we use the yellow, you'll see that the brightness is going to go up here, and we want that. And the red as well. We're going to do that. And like, I think the shadows are kind of a mix of magenta and blue. I don't know if any of these are going to actually bring it down. Not really, but that's fine. We can do that because then we can also use level controls to add a bit more black into this. And any other color variation. I'm thinking something like that. That's looking good. So then what we'll do is we'll do the multiply again. And there we go. We got a texture going. Look at that. Look at that shit. And that already looks really good. It's already going into the background really well. I'm only going to put it on this layer because I want the pentagram to still stand out. And there you go. It already looks good. I don't even really have to adjust it other than adding blur. One thing I will do is I'm going to add a mask here. So what I can do is I'm going to take gradients with a simple straight white to black. And what this will allow me to do is just make sure that the end is cut off. So like if I set this to normal, here I'll show you. So if I do this, then the edge gets cut off and it just vanishes. But I didn't delete it. I didn't actually delete that part of the layer. If I say disable layer mask, it's still there. And I can re-enable it and it's gone. So it's actually not deleting it. Very nice way to work on files like that. I don't always do that. I should probably use masks more than I do. But sometimes when I think to use it, I do use it, which is cool. But yeah, anyway, we'll do the tilt shift again. This time it should actually look good. Hopefully. Actually, ooh, idea. I had an idea. To make something look more painterly, a simple thing you can do is just do oil paint. And ooh, that looks kind of cool. I like that. I might set that even higher. Looks kind of cool. Looks kind of cool. What we might do is we might do that. We'll say sharpen. Sharpen more to bring that sharpness back in. There you go. There you go. There's a bit of a texture there now. And then we can do another filter on top of here. Sometimes I like to use filter gallery. It's very nice. Here's what that looks like. It's a little cursed sometimes, I'll be honest. Like, it'll show the whole image, so that looks really weird. I'll be honest with you. It looks kind of odd. There's some weird filters you get out of this, I'll be honest. That looks weird too. That's basically what our base image looks like. So, like, our base image looks like this. Which is kind of weird. It looks a little odd. The paint daubs one's kind of cool. Gives it an interesting look. I like the poster edges. That's thickening up the edges in this a lot. And that's actually giving it kind of a cartoony look. I like that a lot. Let's play around with this. There you go. I'm going to apply that. Wow, that looks great. I'm going to bring the lightness up a little bit because the lines are a little too many bright lines there. Look at that. That's a texture. That looks really cartoony now. I'm liking that a lot. That looks great. There you go. Boom, man. Look at that. I don't even know if we need to blur that. That looks fantastic. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm just going to duplicate it. I'm going to delete or turn off the visibility of the top one so then we can edit this one and add the blur filter to it. And I'm going to do that so then we can add that dynamic blur. Because I want to have that saved if I don't like this. For whatever reason. I should like it, but, you know. You can't always know. It's not always certain if you're going to like it. Okay, so we're going to do that. I think I'm going to map this out to here. And I'm going to turn that blur up a little higher. I'm going to say high quality. I'm also going to add a little bit of grain to this just to give it a bit more character. Just a little bit. And there we go. I'm going to do that. There you go. Look at that. Got a little bit of depth to it now. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like it a lot. Yeah. Looks nice. I'm liking that. It's got the depth to it that I want. It's got a bit of texture to it now, which is great. We could actually... Something I want to do... I might turn this fill down a bit just to make it so it's not quite so integrated into the base there. I turned it to 70. I think that makes it look a little less in your face. I'm also thinking maybe we should add a little bit of tilt shift vertically. So we can actually rotate this. So if we select here and hold shift, we can get it exactly vertical. Then we can drag this. Don't turn the blur up yet. Drag this vertical. I'm going to drag it right here. I don't really want to blur it on this side. I like it on this side. I don't really want to blur it on the other side too much either. Just a little bit as it falls off. Oh, like that. See how it falls off? I want it just to blur on the edge. That's actually perfect. That's really all I want. I could turn the blur up a bit more, but I'm not going to do that too much. I like that. I like it just kind of falling off as it goes. Having a bit of a fall off there just to match, but nothing too crazy, and then it just adds a bit of blur on the edge there too, so now it's kind of mostly focused around this. It brings your attention here a little bit more, and it looks a bit better. So there you go. So, I mean, that looks pretty good. One other thing I might do, these are just little touch-ups. These are things that you can add to really any picture, especially if you're making an environmental picture. This is something you can do. You can just add things like this. What I'm going to look for now... And I might be able to just find it if I look up clouds in my picture, because I don't know how many clouds I have. I have some clouds. I had other cloud pictures that I took myself. I don't see them in here. Oh, never mind. I called them cloud, not clouds. So here's a bunch that I have. Let's see which one I could use. I'm not really sure. I kind of like this one. If we place it in a certain way, it might look stormy and kind of match our look. So here's a picture of clouds. In a bottom layer, but I'll bring it up to the front here. Here's a picture of clouds that I have taken. This was on my phone a long time ago. Looks fairly decent. The context of this picture, by the way. So I actually, so I had a job interview. At the time, I think I was like 16. I had one job. I think the context was I had a job in the summer. In high school, I think in my 10th grade year, I think? Yes, because I would have been 15, and I was hired at 15 to work at a... I worked at a Value Village, and if you don't know what a Value Village is, it's basically like a fancy thrift store. Not really fancy, though. It's like, you know, it's how you'd expect a fancy thrift store to be. Like, you know how a thrift store is already kind of not fancy at all and it's kind of trashy? It basically becomes like a not very good retail store. That's a fancy thrift store. Either way, I worked there. I worked in the donations area where like donations would come through, and I helped there. But I lost that job because when I started working, I worked in the summer. And let's just go to this for a second, a little break. So I worked there in the summer, and what happened is, let me just, oops, what did I move? Oops, I broke that. That's what I broke. So I worked in, at this Valley Village place, this thrift store, in the summer. I took it as a summer job, and what ended up happening is when I first worked there, I said, you know, I'm looking at it, it's just a summer job, but, you know, if I'm still able to work when school's back on, you know, just like a few shifts after, because, like, really, going from that thrift store from my high school, you know, was about the same distance from my house to that thrift store, so I'm like, you know, if I'm like, oh, I need to work after school or whatever, I can, you know, show up there after school, hopefully, you know, the time should line up. I might be there a little early, but hey, I could, like, you know, if I'm going to work a late shift, I'd probably want to have some food after school and just do that, because the late shifts started at, like, my school ended at, like, 2:30, and then, you know, the shifts usually started around 4:30 and went until, like, you know, 10, 11 at night. So you didn't really have, you had breaks, but those breaks were really short. You didn't really have time to eat. It was mostly just to sit down because you had to take a break. So, you know, you didn't have a lot of time for actually eating food unless you took like a full break. But working in the donations thing, you couldn't take a 30-minute break during that. You would rather take 2 15-minute breaks so you could sit down for a little bit, but you didn't spend too much time not being in the donations area because donations came through all the time. So anyway, that's specific stuff. So I was like, oh, you know, I could go and get some food, you know, after school. Like, I do that, and where this store was around some restaurants. So I'm like, oh, I'll get some food from a restaurant maybe on the occasion, or, you know, pack some more food with me when I go to school so I have something to eat, stuff like that. I could totally do, you can make that work easily. So boom, do that, right? And then go to work, do the shift, and it's all good. And, you know, you have a few shifts in a week. And I said, main thing, I just don't want shifts on, like, both weekends, you know, because then I'm going to be at school and then I'm going to be at work. I'm going to be at school and at work. I can't keep doing that. But, you know, if I work, like, one weekend here, like I work a Saturday here, maybe a Sunday here, you know, longer shifts, that's fine. Just not both days on the weekend all the time. That would be fine. When that time came around, my schedule came back to me for, like, 3 months on the schedule during school. Only weekends. Like, full 10-hour shifts on both weekends. That's an asshole thing to do. I was in school. I was 15. What the fuck? Why would you do that? And I was like, I wrote a thing saying, like, I don't want to do that. That's insane. I'll work on the weekdays, and I'll be fine to work. Like, I restated that. I'm like, I'm good to work on some weekday shifts. You know, and there wasn't a lot of people in the donation thing at the time either. There was, like, maybe me and, like, 2 other people. So, like, they needed people to work there to do that job. One of the guys, that was, like, his only job, and he pretty much, like, loved to work all the time. So, like, that guy could come in a lot, but I'm like, I need some of those shift times. And they always want 2 people working. So I'm like, you can't get those same 2 people working all the time, right? So I'm like, okay, I gotta come in. Why am I not working on the weekdays? So I'm like, I said that whole thing, I put it in the manager box, and I didn't really worry about it. Like, the first day of class, like the first or second day of classes in the week, I get a call. Being like, hey, we're letting you go. And it was, they never specified, but I think me not wanting to do that, what I heard from later, because there were some people that my parents knew that worked there as managers. I didn't really know them too well because they managed other people, not me. But apparently there was a new manager that started that, like, was trying to fire a bunch of people. And I was one of the cutoffs, which makes sense. That's fine, but it's like, it leaves me with the fact in my life, I have to say I was fired from my first job. Not because I did a shit job, because they just were cutting people. But it felt shitty, and they did it in a shitty way. Like, they kind of made it so they almost kind of slightly forced me into, like, a corner where I had to, like, leave that, so they had something to justify why they fired me, even though they were realistically just trying to, like, if they were just like, we're letting you go, we're cutting people, I'm like, okay. I'm like, but they had to make it look like I was the shitty person, so that kind of sucked. But I don't know. Either way, second job I was looking for, that context of that picture, whoops, I wrecked it again. Context of that picture on the Photoshop. So the next summer I tried to get another job. I tried to work at Best Buy. I don't know the whole story, but I was at home, like, alone for whatever reason. And I think the whole thing was like, okay, I don't know how it was specifically, I was like at home by myself. I think my parents were at work and they're like, oh, you know, you get yourself ready, go to this job interview. And my parents have never driven in their life. I didn't drive at that point. I was 16, but I did not drive because my driving experience, I had to take driving lessons for like a year and like all that kind of stuff. And I also did it late. So by like the end of high school is when I was like just at the start of college is when I first got my actual like license. Even then, I don't have a full license yet. I still need to do that lesson, but I haven't got to do it because COVID. But anyway, I put it off for a while. Anyway, so point is, yes, point is, I had a brain fart for a second. So I was doing this job interview, or I went to go for this job interview, and I had to walk the whole way there, and I had to figure out like the timing of how long it was going to take. I offshot by like so much. I was there like an hour early, and I was just sitting outside the store for like an hour. It was awful, and I was just sitting in the parking lot. There's nothing around. Like once you walk out there, the building's so far away from the road. There's like tons of like fields in front of it. And there's like a long road to get to its parking lot. You don't want to walk all the way back and go somewhere and then come back because that takes way too long. I'm like, just sit here for a while. And so I took pictures of clouds, and I've used those pictures of clouds in different images all the time. So just weird thing that happened. You know, I showed up too early, and now those photos that I took because I was bored are photos I use in tons of images now, which is hilarious. I think it'd be funny if I use this in a way with the perspective here. I think what I should do is I should do another perspective warp on these like this. I just realized what song is playing right now. I don't know which version it is though, because I have two versions of this song. Anyway. I want to make it look kind of stormy, so I'm making it like the eye of the storm kind of thing. Why is this side more skewed? I don't understand. Oh, because I literally skewed it. It's fine, we'll just fix that real quick. There we go. So that's the whole thing. Let's do another mask. We're going to do the same thing like we did with the other texture, really, at this point. For some reason, that's our gradient. I want it to be this. I don't know why it was anything else but that. So there you go. So let's do that. So there you go. So then I'm going to set this to grayscale. Actually, what I might do is I might also make it kind of cartoony. So a good way to do that is just say sharpen more. Maybe we'll do that one more time. It might make some halos, but it's fine. We'll be eliminating that. We'll say stylize, do the oil paint. Clouds look really good on oil paint, by the way. If you get the clouds right, you can really get them to look good. There you go, there's that. Let's do oil paint one more time, and then we'll say sharpen more. And then we'll do a filter gallery, and you can add a paint filter to this. And there's a few things we can do. I don't want to do this. That looks cool, but that's not what I want. There's a few things you can do. Dry brush is really good for clouds. Actually, I'm going to use that. I really like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. So let's use that. Let's do black and white. And let's set the blue to really dark. We don't want really any blue in there. We can add a little bit of blue with a little bit of context, just to add a little bit of color to it. Let's do that. Actually, you know what? Let's do stormy clouds. A good way to do stormy clouds is actually have the blue. Like what we'll do is we could invert this. You see how it's like stormy in that? And then we do a black and white. And now we have red and orange and stuff. We do that. It's kind of ruining it because for some reason the clouds are like orange now. I don't know why the invert did that. Let's do that. There you go. And then we can do black and white, and maybe we'll be able to actually get rid of that orange. No, I don't know why that's doing that. Let's just do it the original way. The colors, for some reason, are way closer on the inverted, even though that shouldn't be like that. I don't really know why that's happening. Either way, we can do this. It's fine. There is a bit of that color there, too, but it's fine. It looks better this way. And there, whoa, look at that. That shit looks great. I kind of like that a lot. That looks fucking sick. The overlay ones look good, too. That vivid light one, or actually this one in particular, the color dodge looks great on this. I'm going to overlay that down underneath all this. I'm going to overlay it over this in the background. That looks great, dude. That looks so cool. Hell yeah. That looks fucking sick. Hell yeah. We can turn the fill down so it's not as in your face. But that's cool. I like that a lot. Obviously we could blur this a little bit if we really wanted to. I think that'll ruin it though. I don't think we really should do that too much. Actually, that looks cool too. I'll be honest with you. Looks kind of cool to blur it a little bit and add some variety in the sky. It really looks like clouds now. So yeah, little bits of that. Other than that, that's pretty cool. I think that's really all we want to do for this base image. Because like the other things we'll do to this... let me just open up my Discord here. DMs. Spoiled. My Discord's frozen. Oh, legit, Discord froze. Okay, whatever. I was like, oh, I have a notification. What is it? Never mind. Okay. So yeah, the one other thing we could do here, but we'll do this specifically in After Effects because I have stuff for this, is adding like little elements over it. And this is a good thing to do on your images anyway, so this is just good practice, I would say, but I have assets for this video-wise, so I don't need to do this on this image in particular, because we're going to have this as a video. And we're going to have to recreate some of this, of course. But here you go, so like, here's this, right? Now we're going to put this above some stuff, but let's expand this image. So this is a bunch of dust. Ooh, hiccup. So that's all that is, right? If you'd want to do this, we'd probably want it to be underneath the riskRED logo, but that's really it. The rest of the stuff, let's put the shadow under this too, so we can have this right under the riskRED logo, because we don't want that to be affected, but everything else can be. So we can do something like this, right? Or we can do screen, or we can do lighten. Screen looks better, usually. Color dodge looks good here too. I actually do like how that looks. It's kind of adding the color to it. And that just adds like some subtle texture to it on top of the whole thing. And we could do that for a bunch of stuff. And we can obviously delete where we don't want it to be. We can then rasterize this and be like, okay, let's rasterize. Get a big brush. Not a lot of hardness. Okay, 300. And I don't want it to be like here on top of the pentagram. So let's delete it there. And actually, I don't really want it here either. Or whatever we want to do. Like, I may want to just kind of get it away from some of these edges a little bit. You know, clean that up. All that sort of stuff. I don't really like it here that much. Let's delete it a little there. There you go. I don't like that one there. There you go. So now it's a little more subtle. Stuff like that, right? And you can clean that stuff up. So that's just a bit of textures, but we would have that actually moving in After Effects, so we'd have like a video that does the same thing, and that would be doing that. And what you can do, so we'll save this as a Photoshop file. I'll clean up the layers in my own time, and I'll name everything the right thing and delete any layers we don't need and group them in the right ways. And what you can do is you can then open the Photoshop file directly in After Effects, and you'll have all the layers exposed in the right ways, and then what you get is you get essentially basically the ability to like actually put videos under certain layers in this Photoshop file, so I could actually put the video underneath the riskRED logo. Or I could just save this without the riskRED logo. I'm going to have to do that anyway because I don't want the pentagram here either. I'm going to want to reapply that. Well, maybe I'll save it with that stuff so I know where I'm placing it, but you get the general idea. So that kind of stuff, and all that. So we'll be able to essentially put the video underneath the logos and stuff, which is cool. So anyway, cool stuff. We might want to put it on top of everything too to make it look more integrated too. Really depends on how the look's going to turn out. Who knows? It could go either way. That's, again, another preference thing. So yeah, cool stuff. I'm going to do one other thing. Oop, my Discord is back. Hold on, I'm just looking at something real quick. That's what that is. That's what that is. I understand. Okay, so... did I save this? I did save this. Good. I just wanted to make sure. So, I was going to do one other thing. Yes. So what I want to do real quick, just really quick, is I want to do...
The most important part of our routine is the entrance. Yes, absolutely.
I want to do a thing where I take this stream file from last stream. Ooh, it looks really terrible on stream right now. Why is the file so, like, terribly corrupt? Okay, alright, I got it. I'm just going to full screen this so we have something to do. This is just a really quick way to do this. There we go. Okay. So, now what we can do is we can be like, okay, let's put this on top of here. There's that, and there is the VLC window in full screen. And now we have this whole window in full screen on the actual thing. I don't know why this window is deciding to not be the right size. I don't get that. This is 1920 by 1080. It should be fitting. There we go. Cool. So this is just to get the positioning right. So now that we have this here, I can say Control A, and I can say crop so that this is only this side of the image. You don't need my other wallpaper. And that's just print screen, by the way, if you don't know. So you can just open VLC, open it in full screen on the frame you want, wait for the little thing, the player thing to come off of it, and then you can just hit print screen and save that. That can be useful for thumbnails if you're using something from a video. You can also do like screenshots with Snip and Sketch or whatever you want in that same way. You can also drag a video into Photoshop, but for streams those are kind of large, so it's kind of annoying to edit that way. And you can also put it into Premiere and export a frame directly from Premiere too, or something like that. So whatever, there's multiple ways to do that, but that's just something. So this is just a quick way to do it for the context of this. So this is what our current screen looks like, right? So this was from last stream. We streamed pretty late last stream. It is still pretty late now, but we started a bit earlier today. Well, actually, that's not true. That's not true. We did not really do that. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's see. So that's our current thing. I'm going to set the opacity down lower, and I'm going to see where we have current stuff. So the current riskRED logo is a little lower than that, but you can see the comparison. Look at that. That's what it'll look like now. That's what it'll look like going into this. It's going to look like this. And then that's what it looks like now into that. Isn't that fucking cool? Isn't that way better? Holy shit. It's not moving yet, but it looks cool. Again, restating, if you're just joining the stream now, that this is going to replace our current pre-stream thing, this thing. It's going to replace this. And it's going to do that. Most of this stuff's going to be the same. We're probably still going to have the loading bar. Maybe not. I don't know. We probably might ditch the loading bar. I don't know if we actually need that anymore. But it's pretty much going to be the same. We'll have the starting soon text on there too, actually. So, not completely all gone. We'll have the starting soon there as well. But yes, so this screen will be the same in terms of layout, but it'll be replaced to be this. So it's going to be this now, and it's going to be moving, so this pentagram on the bottom is going to be spinning slowly around, rotating in place. And the riskRED logo, what I might do too to make it a bit cooler is the riskRED logo might hover. Have a little hover animation, you know? Something like that. It's going to take some time. So maybe we won't do that now. I don't think I think we might be... I might be calling it here, at least for now, because I think the After Effects stuff, while it is cool, maybe we'll do that in another stream. Maybe I'll do a little bit of work off stream, and I'll show you later in another stream just to kind of show you guys what it looks like, and then we can kind of come back and look at it and be like, oh, look at this. Look at this. This is cool. Because some of that work is going to be tedious and just take a long time. So maybe we won't do that too much, but I'm thinking that this is a good base. I think this looks really cool. I'm looking forward to turning this into a full thing. And to give you a sense, here, let me do... I think I have some pictures that might be something I can use to kind of show you the idea. Is that playing again? Do that song. There you go. So another thing we can do here. Let's see. I just want to show you the energy kind of look that I have, and I want to see if I can find something that might work with that. Maybe something that'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm thinking. Just as a general thing. And I want to do it in a way that it's not really like interfering too much with the actual logo. Just something that's kind of there, something that's kind of, you know, adding some atmosphere, adding some dynamic stuff going on to look a little bit cooler. That part in terms of something that's going to be looping might be a little bit of an annoyance to try to do that. And again, I might not have anything that'll really do that effect in the way that I'm wanting. So it might not even be something that I add, I don't know. At least in terms of this kind of thing. I don't really think I have too much here that actually is going to really provide that. Yeah, I don't really have anything too much that's like here that actually is going to add that. I kind of have this. I have this. This is like smoke, but like imagine if you will, like just something coming from like the bottom here, and like we would add more color or whatever, but we'd also tint this to be like some other color, right? Like it would be, let's add color to it. I don't know. A color overlay red. There. So now it's like a red color. It'd be a little light, so it'd be something like that. And we could add like a drop shadow to it, which because this is partially transparent, it's going to look like a really big glow. Do something like that. And then this could be like kind of behind the riskRED logo a little bit. But then it could partially be in front too, like we can add a second thing that's less transparent, so something like that, right? That's like kind of steaming up. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of things, something that's kind of like there, but not really, not too in the way, just something to add. Might add some dynamic stuff. That's a little much. What I really am thinking is something that like kind of comes up. Oops. That kind of comes up on the side. Oh, I want to rotate. Something that's like kind of on the side, like around it, you know what I mean? And it's not really covering too much of the logo because I want that to kind of be in place. You know what I mean? So something more like this, where it's like coming around this side. Then we could duplicate this or something, right? And then we could say like, okay, let's do this side. And then we could say, okay, transform, horizontal, and we could do it on this side too. So something that's more like this. And then the logo's kind of like coming out like this, right? And we could do something like this and duplicate this group or whatever. I'll merge this for now. And we could, like, you know, I don't want to do this too much. Let me get a bigger brush, but I can get kind of more dynamic with this. Something like that around, right? And then we could do something that's like maybe, let's get another smoke layer or something that's like something that sits in front. This is a cloud, but same diff, same diff. You know, we could make this, I don't know, we could also make this red. We could put this in front of the riskRED logo. Maybe flip it upside down or something. I don't know. This is just random things I'm coming up with. This is really stupid, but I'm just trying to make concepts, you know? Something like that. So, a bunch of stuff emitting. I want it around. Maybe I won't even add that. Who knows? That might not even be something I had. Maybe at the end of the day, I might not add it. I don't want it to be really like smoky. I want it to be more like a an energy particle, like something that looks a little bit more unnatural, a little bit more kind of like more electric. Kind of a mix of electricity and smoke. I want to see if I have something like that. I have a bunch of these like assets. Again, I mentioned it earlier. That's supposed to be like energy. So I want to see if any of those will work. Actually, realistically, what I want is I want to see if I have an element that is like energy, but it's in a circle and it like lasts for a little while, and maybe I would map it to the same perspective as the pentagram and have it be like a circle of like electric energy coming out of it or something like that. It would look kind of cool. I don't know. We have stuff to play around with. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's stuff we could do. It'd be kind of cool. So maybe there's something there. Maybe there isn't. Who knows? Either way, I think this looks pretty cool for now. I think there's some other stuff we could do to make it look a bit cooler. Definitely some particles and stuff like that. Moving things in video. All that kind of stuff. Maybe some pulse and glow. There's a bunch we can do with animation with just what we have here. But I feel like some extra elements would be good too. But anyway, I'm going to leave the stream here for now. It's a little bit shorter. I hope that you guys that came by to check it out, to see what's going down, enjoyed what was going down, and I hope you guys kind of, you know, saw some stuff going on here and was like, hey, that's kind of cool. That's kind of nice. Maybe you enjoyed some of the tips, stuff I was talking about, or maybe you just enjoyed some of the stories I was telling. Either way, if you did enjoy, consider following, subscribing maybe even. But again, you don't have to do that. If you're just watching around right now, it's all good, and I hope that you come back for the next one. Yeah, my Twitter is also down below. I redid the panels underneath the stream, so if you scroll down the stream right now, you should see panels for the main YouTube channel, the VODs channel, my Instagram account, my music account, as well as the ability to donate. Again, those donations are not required, but if you feel so inclined, I would highly appreciate it. Anyway, other than that, yeah. Again, last stream I did say more videos will be headed to the main channel. Hopefully. I still have not gotten on to doing those. Someday. Considering I do videos as work now, it's hard to get around to doing my own, because doing my own I don't get paid for, but doing other ones I do get paid for, so, you know, the incentive is a little bit higher for those other videos. But anyway. Yes, my Instagram account, by the way, I also do put up a story there every time I go live, so that is a way to check out if I'm live, but also my Twitter account, I also tweet to let you all know when I'm live as well. I was doing fleets before, which were the same as the Instagram stories. It was the same video, but I'm not doing that now because nobody looks at fleets, because fleets are stupid. So, whatever. So yes. Anyway, so Twitter and Instagram are two places you can go where you will get notifications for when I'm live outside of Twitch directly. So follow me there if you do want to know when I'm live next time. Again, the VODs channel, that's where VODs go, so if you missed this one, or you missed past ones that you might want to see, or if you're not able to make it to the next one, they will all go there 24 hours after they're here, because that is Twitch policy. But anyway, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all. I think we're good. So yeah, anyway, that is it for me for today. I don't know what next stream will be. Hopefully we are actually playing a game, but I'm not sure what it'll be. It'll either be more Isaac, because we need to do more of that, but I'm also hoping to do maybe some Black Mesa, something like that. I was also thinking maybe we could do a bit of Burnout Paradise. A bit of a weird one. I've been getting into playing Forza Horizon 4 recently, but after playing it for so long, because a lot of it, after you do some of the story stuff, is online, which is totally fine, nothing wrong with that. But the game's kind of like a bit of offline stuff, and then the rest is just online, which is, again, fine, but not really the dynamic I'm looking for. I really like the offline component of the game because it's very similar to Burnout Paradise, and I like that game a lot. And I'm like, hey, I have Burnout Paradise Remastered on my computer. And, you know, I put in a 100% completion save file because I did do that years and years ago on Xbox 360, and I'm like, yeah, let's just put that in there and just race around. But I never really played the remaster, actually tried to play through it. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Why don't we do that? It's been a long time since I played it. So it's like, oh, you know what? We could do that on stream. That'd be fun. The only problem with that game is it crashes a lot. The remaster crashes. I paused it, and it crashed. And when I first tried to launch it, it crashed, but then I was told that you should just run this, like, patcher thing somebody made, and it'll work. And it did, but when I paused it, it crashed. So, not sure if we should do that one, because it doesn't seem to like to be stable. So I'm not sure about that. But anyway, yeah. So we'll do something next stream. I'm not really sure what, but we'll do something. Maybe we'll finish Carrion. I keep saying that. We do have to get around to that soon, because my Game Pass expires soon. Holy crap. So we will be doing that at some point. Maybe we'll do a Carrion and Black Mesa stream and mix those two together. Finish up Carrion, make some more progress on Black Mesa, all that kind of stuff. Maybe that'll be next stream too. There's definitely stuff to do. Cool stuff. If you enjoyed streams like this, again, let me know, because I will do more of these as well if you liked them. So yeah, that is all for me. I will see you guys later. I'll shut up. See you guys later. See ya.